Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome again, Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Live stream with Vern Coast of Usawa Fitness. Thank you for coming. If you here and if you watching this recorded, thank you for hitting that play button and deciding to listen to me talk a little bit today. Today I'm gonna be talking about balance fitness. That is Usawa Fitness. So, well, first of all, I hope y'all having a beautiful Saturday or a beautiful day, whatever day it is for you. I hope you're having a great one and you feeling good. Hopefully, this is going to be a real positive little uh, stream today that you guys will enjoy. If you decide you're enjoying it, don't forget, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, chat it up in the comments, whether you be live or you following later. Make sure you leave a few words in the comments so I could connect with you. If you haven't been watching my streams, I've been talking a lot about trying to create a community. And so I'm hoping that over time, along with my workouts and my reviews and these live streams, I'll be able to create kind of a community of people who want to talk about being healthy mentally, physically, and spiritually. That's where I get the Balance Fitness from. Usawa Fitness is basically Balance Fitness. So for those of you who, I'll go over this real quick for those of you who don't know me or haven't been watching. Usawa is the Swahili word for balance. Now, I climbed Mount Kilimanjaro years ago, and when I was climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, some of the porters that were helping me up the mountain were teaching me Swahili words. And that trip was kind of like a fundamental part of why it was the foundation for me transitioning from being in the editing field, television editing, to becoming a personal trainer. So I kind of wanted to tie something to it. I wanted to tie that experience that I had up there on the mountain, because it helped me so much to make this transition to me becoming a trainer. So I went ahead and I looked for a Swahili word, and I came up with Usawa, and that's Usawa Fitness. Now, as everybody knows, there's balance is two-sided, right? You got balance, and it actually is three. You got up, down, and then you got this middle state. And I felt like there was a lot of times in my life when I was out of balance, and I could do one thing really, really good for a certain amount of time, but then I was always something else suffered as a result. And when I started to kind of transition, I used to have a really bad temper when I was really young, and I let that go much further. I dumped that longer ago than 10 years, but every now and then, it will rear its ugly head, and I had to start trying to figure out where that was coming from and how to calm it down to the point where it was almost non-existent, because I knew it was out of balance for me to be able to get triggered as easily as I could. And part of that is basically the mental part of becoming mentally, physically, and spiritually balanced. And to me, being mentally balanced, it constitutes a lot, because number one, you have to figure out, or I had to figure out what my thoughts and what caused me to feel the feelings that I had at any certain point, and how do I conquer those feelings. So when I'm getting angry, why am I getting angry? And this is a really tough thing to deal with, because as humans, we have long history. As we grow, a lot of things that happen to us as kids, we never get rid of, And as a kid, I come from separate, a split family and things like that. So, I saw my parents argue and so forth. And, we had a lot of tension in the house before my parents, actually made the split, which, is no big, like millions and millions and millions of people deal with this. But at the same time, sometimes you got to look back into that window and see what it is that, is you confronted with in the moment. And so becoming mentally fit meant me beginning to take the lead and addressing my thoughts, okay? And looking into my thoughts and understanding why I'm having them. And then saying, okay, man, no big deal. You in the moment, you kind of conjuring up some feelings from the past, but what do those matter to you today? Not much. You know what I'm saying? I'm a whole different person at 50 than I was at 8, and not to say that this took me years to start to look back and address those feelings and start to understand them and love on them and understand that they were part of the development of the man who I am and will be becoming in the future. So I wanted to get mentally strong and start to being able to attach what those feelings are. I guess is what I'm trying to say. So ways to do that. Start having a look. Okay, for me, it was I started reading and just kind of going through some self-help, books and going online and finding different things that were going to help me to continue to develop. Number one, I got into church, and when I got into church, that was 1992 when I really started, digging. But then I fell way off of that. But then I'm like, I still had a little bit of what I was learning in 92 as a 22-year-old still kept following me, and I kept using some of those tools to become a better, to identify the mental weaknesses, or I don't know if I should call them weaknesses, but the flaws that I needed to kind of fix and address to become stronger. But let me show you a couple of things that you could do to kind of do the same thing. These are just a list I found from Chopra, but I wanted to be able to give you guys a list because you got to find these things your own way. And the first part is identifying the parts of you in your brain that you want to fix, and then you just find the tools that you can use to to actually help with the process. So right here are a few. All right. So we talk about eliminating stressors, right? Eliminating stressors is a big one because there are certain parts of you that may anger you, or they don't have to be angry. That's for me, but there might be parts of you that make you sad. Some parts of you that make you, stressed, whatever it may be. You want to try to figure what they are and eliminate them. If you got bad friends, are those some people that you really need to have in your life if you're trying to become mentally stronger, and that mentally you deal with yourself all the time. So having somebody else to come into your life to add negativity may be something that you want to figure out how to part ways with. Setting goals, giving yourself an opportunity to actually strive for something. Yeah, Vern was angry. How can I get rid of this anger? I need to make sure that, I'm gonna try to address situations differently when I'm in the line at the store and the lady walk up behind me and she got no mask on. Getting a coach, what I'm saying, is an awesome way. A mentor, or a friend, somebody that can help you you practice these things. Oh yeah, you know what, man? I've been doing yoga, man. It really helping me to free my mind and so forth. You want to come on with me? Yeah, let's do that once a week. I found that helped me to get into a better place mentally. I'm going to go for that. Continuing to educate yourself, that's a big one. Do you read? There was times when I went so long without ever picking up a book. And I'm like, come on, Vern, man, you know what? Reading is the foundation of becoming a better, bigger individual. Like, I just know that reading is so important. it's like when you go a long time without reading, you just got like a little dull brain, and actually picking up a book and forcing your brain to do something different is key, man. I mean, it is like, and actually once you start doing it regularly, I found that it really raised me up. Once I started reading a lot, I just started feeling like I was becoming a a smarter person, and living a life without reading to me is a dangerous life, because then I'm just trapped in my own thoughts, in my own brain, and I'm really not developing without being able to contrast my thoughts with the thoughts of others, and seeing whether or not are my thoughts legit, or am I just creating the perfect world for myself because I'm afraid to take on the thoughts of somebody else and the practices of somebody else. Do I need that in my life? So I feel like actually taking the time out to pick up a book, and sometimes it's just entertainment. You know what I mean? It's just taking my brain to somewhere else and actually giving myself an opportunity to fantasize about something. This is fact and fiction we talking about. So I just feel like it's a great, reading is really important. And then this is a big one when you talk about me and mental fitness. Now, I don't do this every day. I try to do it often, though. And that's recapping my day, right? Especially when I have a hard day. I like to, at the end of the day, before I go to bed and go through my prayers, I like to take a time out to just think like, man, what happened today? What were the things that were good today? What were the things that weren't so great today? And what could I do to either add more of the good, or address the bad, or, get rid of the bad? But actually taking time at the end of the day to think about today is something that I think if you try that exercise and you do it for a couple weeks, I think you'll find that it's a really good way to identify the parts of your life that you may need to change. And that's a mental exercise, all right? So that's my deal on the mental part of what we've been talking about here today, okay? Like I said, Usawa Fitness is, I'm trying to support a healthy lifestyles through mental, physical, and spiritual balance, all right? And so we just went through what I believe is to be the mental balance part of that equation. So hold on here 1 second. Click this next slide so I can go over the physical part with you guys. How y'all like my new lower thirds, all right? Your boy feel like he's trying to come up a little bit. I've been working on making everything look a little bit more professional. I hope y'all peeping it and feeling kind of positive about what I got going on, because I am. I'm proud of it. I'm proud to be doing this. It's come a long way, man, and it's such a blessing to be able to get in here and have these tools and be educated enough in what I'm doing to kind of pull it off a little bit and then to continue learning it. Man, I'm feeling so blessed about this whole process, y'all, and I'm so grateful for every time somebody jump in here and watch one of these videos, and I hope and I pray that whatever y'all watching and y'all hearing here is a message that is positive, and one that, personally, that God would be using me as a tool to come to you, so that nothing is negative or is hurting you guys, but instead is building you and making you feel better. And remember, I'm not a psychologist, psychiatrist, anything like that, but this is my philosophy, right? I'm just kind of giving you what I have been doing in my life to kind of help myself to feel balanced and to feel as though I'm living the happy life that I want to live. And I truly believe that these three elements, and this isn't just like me bringing them up. This is going back to ancient times where people, were talking about being mentally, physically, and spiritually balanced. This isn't like anything new. Some would say the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. There's a lot of different, you could look across all kind of religions and different philosophers and things like that, and you'll see these. So I'm just using something that was out there that I kind of connected with and started to use as a tool. Okay. So let me come up over here. Excuse me for 1 second here. There we go. All right. So then we talk about the physical. Okay. Or I'm sorry. I want to talk about I want to talk about the physical now. So then we talk about the physical. Okay. We got mentally, physically, right? Physically, obviously, a lot of that is what I do as a trainer, right? We're talking about being healthy, right? We're talking about trying to addressing the fact that if we took it all the way back, which I like to say a lot of times to, thousands of years ago, we would think about, into the raw stages, we would think about being hunters and gatherers, right? We got group of people in our village together. I'm a hunter, my buddy, and he's a gatherer. So I'm like, all right, man, and love. I'm about to go out here and try to catch this boar, right? And when I go out there, that's gonna be a physical challenge, right? I gotta go out and I'm gonna go on a walk and I'm gonna start climbing trees, looking down to see if I see this boar, and that's a physical thing that's gonna get me up out of this chair that I'm sitting in, right? They want to sit in the chair, right? Get me off the ground, and so I can go out and actually try to catch this animal. I'm gonna chuck whatever I needed to chuck to try to hit it. And then I'm gonna run after it for, it's gonna be a hustle to get it. Once I get it, it's still kicking. It's gonna be a wrestle. I'm wrestling with it, whatever. That's a physical activity. Hunters and gatherers. I'm just breaking this down to what I feel a lot of, the lowest levels of what we're doing physical before we started getting into this more developed world. And then I got, here's my buddy and my girl. They over there. They gonna go do some gathering. Okay, wait, let's walk. We got no berries right here, but we walk a certain distance. We find, here it is, berries. Let's pick these. All right, let's pick these. Now we gonna walk back to the village where we were. Hopefully, Vern will have, dragged back some type of meat, and then we gonna rest for days and so forth. So that to me means that we were not meant to sit in a chair all day. Both of those activities are way more strenuous than getting up out of the bed, showering, getting into the car, driving to work, working, and coming back, when most of those jobs require you to be sitting around. I know that there's a lot of physical jobs out there too. I just know that the world is moving in a place where, there's a lot of computers and things like that. And even when you're doing a physical job, there is room for training the body, because you're gonna find imbalances. If I'm at UPS and every day I grab these boxes and I pull them down from here, there's gonna be imbalances that develop in my body that are gonna require me to address those by making sure that I train this side of the body, and I train the bodies in different ways than just what my job allowed me to do. So being practicing kind of keeping the physical part of the body in tune is important. So back when I was editing, I'm sitting in a chair all day, 16, 17 hours a day, many days, and never really getting the opportunity to physically work my body began to run a toll on me. And I'm like, this isn't how I'm supposed to be living. I know this because I always been somebody who enjoyed working out and things. Excuse me, sorry, y'all. So as I started to, I'm like, I started working out, I was 50 something pounds heavier, or just, about 55 pounds. And I started working out and I started feeling way better about my life because I have started to address the physical parts of me being a better person. And I should mention, going back to that, the mental part, the Oprah Book Club was kind of like one of the biggest things that also helped me to start reading more, because I hadn't been reading when I was at the job I was at prior to going to the Oprah Winfrey Show. But when I got there, we started, we would have these, I don't know why my logo comes up like that. I didn't tell that to do that. I'm sorry about that, y'all. I see my lower third just popped up, and I don't know what I'm doing to trigger that. But anyway, reading that book, let me see if I can get rid of that without messing this up. Hold on a second. Starting to read books that she was putting out, I'm like, let me read this book, you know what I'm saying? I started reading, and that was one of the parts where I started feeling like I was getting more mentally in tune with actually, exercising my brain from the mental aspect, along with the other things that I talked about earlier. But back to this physical thing. So when you start, you still need to work out your body, right? We still, no matter what kind of job you're doing. Also, eating healthy, starting to understand, all right, I started working out more. I was feeling better. I'm losing this weight. But but that doesn't just happen because I was working out. I also needed to make some adjustments to eating. So then I'm like figuring out, okay, here's my new level of like changing my diet and so forth. After that, one that I still have a lot of problems with is trying to get the proper amount of rest, right? I often been the type of person, lay down in the bed, my head would start spinning. Like, I'm starting to like think about all kind of different thoughts. I had a hard time calming my brain. We're going to talk about when we get that a little bit deeper when I get to the spiritual part of this. But, racking my brain, trying to, go to sleep. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna get up until I'm really tired, and then I'll go jump in the bed and I'll sleep for like 4 or 5 hours. But I slept for 4 hours a day for years and years and years. Now I get about anywhere between 5.5 and 6. But also try to take a nap in the day. I believe that I'm in the sleepless elite, which is not like elite. Like it's more of a category of people that just don't really need that much rest to function. But it still scares me because I don't know what that's going to mean to me as an older adult mentally, if as far as memory and things like that can be affected by less sleep. But I'm still working to sleep more without actually taking any kind of drugs. And then hydrating the body, right? Learning how to really, hydrate this body, taking care of it. Basically, all we talking about here, y'all, is actually taking care of this physical specimen that we are gifted, that is our bodies, And right now we talked about, both exercising the brain and exercising the body itself. I'll go ahead and throw up a slide for you guys so that you can maybe hit that and go back to it and use that as a tool to actually practice some of the things we're talking about here today. Excuse me, I'm having me some nice coffee. So there we go. Working out, eating healthy, getting rest, good, valuable sleep, and also hydrating. Okay? Like I said, those will be, those are, that's the physical part of what I've been talking about here today. Now remember, y'all, if you like any of what I'm doing today, please hit that like button. Don't forget to feel free to come into the comments and speak to me in the comments. If you're here today, you don't have to figure out something to say. Just drop a hello or a hi into the chat box right now and let me know you here. And I welcome. I see I got a couple people here. I don't know if y'all a little shy. That's okay. I understand. But definitely say hello if you feel up to it. So then, y'all, we get into what the spiritual side of all of this, okay? And this is, I say this for last because it's the foundation. of the three, in my opinion. And don't worry, when I get into this, this is not about to be like a religious speech or anything like that I'm about to go into. But if you look at my logo itself, let me pull that up for you real quick before I go any further. If you look at my logo here, you'll notice that it is an inverted pyramid, and that I like to think of those three corners. That top left is the mental, that top right is the physical, and that bottom point is the spiritual. So that is what that Usawa Fitness logo is creating right there, okay? And so we, like I said, we went over the mental, physical, and now we're going to go over the spiritual part of what I believe is balanced fitness, okay? The spiritual aspects, right? For me, obviously, y'all know if you've been here, I'm a Christian, and I lean on my spirituality is God and Jesus Christ. But I realize that everybody, hey Ash, thank you for saying hi. Let me just let me say hi to that. I will respond to the comments, okay? But thank you. So when we talk about the spiritual aspects, like I said, I'm a Christian, but I know some people have a different journey for their spirituality, right? But I feel like spirituality is energy, right? And this energy comes from, for me, I believe that it comes down from, and I should say it comes, when I say down, I don't feel like there's some, if I go millions and billions of miles up into the sky, I'm going to find heaven. I just feel like there's a global, like a round existence that we're always in, and then there's another level of where I believe God is waiting for me. But when we talk about this energy, the spiritual energy is energy that comes from within you, that's always around, right? To me, like, energy is you got good energy, bad energy, but energy never goes anywhere. You can't get rid of it, right? It just passes from one person to another, or from one thing to another. You can't get rid of an atom. They're here forever. They just transition into different forms. And so I'm like, how do we harness energy and learn to understand it? Learn to make it a part of our life that we actually can acknowledge. And for me, that's, prayer, read my Bible, fellowshipping with people who also have those beliefs, and then, kind of talking to other people who don't. For some people, it's going to be meditation, right? They're going to sit down and they're going to meditate. They're going to try to find a deeper, you're going to look for silence and find what's in silence. I can't go into meditation a lot because I could never do it. I already told y'all I had problems sleeping. And when I meditate, I remember being in when we had these big meditation rooms, and they'd be like, all right, everybody close your eyes. Okay. And I close my eyes, and they'd be like, leave your eyes closed and, try to free your brain. I sit there for a few minutes and I'd be like, I'm looking around to see who looking at me. I'm like, man, has everybody really got their eyes closed still, man? And so I could never do it, man. And then you could do it, let me know in the comments, because I don't know. I just have a hard time with that meditation thing. But now what I would do is I could pray, and then it give me something to think about, and it was equally as to me it was just as rewarding as meditating. But other people, they might try to like study consciousness. Now that's another really deep thing, and that goes back to the mental part that we were talking about. Because studying consciousness is kind of learning to, you have your thoughts, you got your inner thoughts, like you're sitting there, I'm thinking about something. But then going in and studying what it is that you actually thinking about, not just accepting the blind existence of a thought, but then taking that thought and trying to dig deeper into why that thought exists. And I do like trying to do that, and trying to be more conscious of everything I'm thinking. And that's part of that mental part, because you can really start to define the little parts of your brain that have little negative impacts on your life, that and for me negative, sometimes for positive too. You like, hey, you know what, I find something and I'm like, I know exactly where that's coming from, and I'm gonna do that more. And so, let me know if y'all understand what I'm saying here. If you need me to define this more, I can go over this a little bit more. But I'm hoping that a lot of what I'm saying is coming across in a way that you guys, coming across in the kind of way that you guys understand, can at least go try to figure out. Because I'm not, like I said, I'm not a psychiatrist and anything like that. I'm a psychologist. I'm not, but I feel like anybody can have their own philosophy, and all I'm going over is what I use to try to keep in balance, right? And at the end of this, I'm gonna talk about how far out of balance I really am. And so, but at the same time, as far out of balance as I can be, I look back over time, over these almost 51 years that I've been here, and how much further along I have become. And I know that a lot of people that follow me are between the ages of 24 and 35. And I hope that I'm able to bless some of you with information that makes the next 25 years to 15 to 25 years of your lives easier, based off of some stuff that I've learned over these years. And I'm still studying people in hopes that over the next X amount of years or days or moments that I'm going to learn something that makes the next step in my life more cohesive. But, some people going to study consciousness and religion and then philosophy. Those are all things that are great ways to become more spiritually balanced in your life. And in my opinion, if you're not doing any of this, you should give it a shot. I'm not saying it's perfect and it is guaranteed to work for you, but I almost guarantee that it will help you somehow. I guarantee it's going to help you in some way or another. If you say that if you do these things and you tell me that they don't, I feel like you battling something that is holding you back from allowing yourself to become who you meant to be. Because these practices are ancient, and they are tried and true. And if you practice what I'm talking about here today, I know that you will find mental, physical, and spiritual growth in your life. And then last, is just, for me, is prayer. Is finding that connection with God that allows me to actually have conversations that I'm not comfortable having with my friends, family, even a therapist, right? To me, being able, having God to speak to is number one. I respect my God, and I want, and I know, I feel my God can hear and see what I'm saying and doing. And so I find it very comforting to sit back and actually have a conversation. Because remember, when I'm verbally having that conversation with God, I'm also acknowledging parts of me that, to myself, that I could address and be like, all right, I actually spoke those words. Yeah, Vern, you have anger issues, dude. Like, God, please help me to become less triggered in my life when I'm faced with situations and I want to, go into this angry place. Yeah, that's helpful, because I just spoke it, right? I spoke it, and in speaking it, maybe I'm gonna speak it into existence, right? And I just feel like that's another, some people will look at that and say, oh, well, is that God or is that just you? But if God is in me, then it's part of me. But I believe it to be something bigger than just me and making this happen. I feel like it's a help through this, spiritual connection that I believe I have with, with the Creator. But so I popped that slide up for y'all. Let me pop that up so y'all can take a look at that. And again, you can screenshot that, or you could come back even better and watch my video again, and make sure you hit them like buttons and them subscribe buttons, and you grow your spiritual self out, as this slide here talks about. Man, if y'all hear me drinking that coffee, I'm drinking Dunkin' Donuts coffee. What kind of coffee y'all like? I love Dunkin' Donuts. Now, I got the grounds myself, and I make it here myself, but I love me some Dunkin' Donuts coffee. See, now I just popped up all those slides. Oh, I know what's happening. I think. I'm sorry, y'all. Let's see if I can get rid of those real quick. I got to figure out, that's a real big flaw that I've been having with my Elgato Stream Deck. That's what I use to bring up these slides. Let's get rid of that Usawa Fitness one. And then let's pop up the one where we say subscribe. If you like what I'm talking about. Sorry about that, y'all. I want this to be like technically flawless, but I haven't quite learned exactly how to do some of this the proper way, because obviously that keeps happening, but we'll fix it. So I hope y'all like what I had to say here today. If you do, take a second. Anybody have any questions? I'm wide open for any questions about anything that I talked about here today. I hope that it's clear, and I hope y'all, feel as though when you come here on Saturday mornings, you're getting something of value, and that you can walk away with for the rest of your Saturday afternoon or evening and feel like it was a blessing and not a hindrance, because I'm here to make these things to be very positive and strong. I'm going to be here every single Saturday at 10 a.m., and I'll be talking about various topics that I use as a personal trainer and just as a man, in existence. And like I said, if you like what I'm talking about, please subscribe, hit the like button, and go into the comments. Hey, Nicole, thank you for coming. Let me give a quick hello out, because I do not ever want to have a comment pop in here and not comment and not reply to it. Thank you for coming, Nicole. Yeah, like I said, if you like what I'm doing, do all the things we talked about. And please let me know in the comments if it's something that you heard that you got questions about and you want me to go into a little bit further. Because I think what I can do is I can have these Saturday morning 10 a.m. live chats, and then I can go in. I can go live at any time, and I can do a private live session with you, where I just open up a live channel, and it won't be private, but it will be, I won't announce it the way I do these at like every Saturday at 10 a.m. I'll just say, hey, you know what? Don Ron came in and he wanted, to talk to me about blank, and I'll just throw up a little live stream and start talking at 8 p.m., whatever. I'm down for that. Like I said, I'm trying to build a community. Man, y'all just do not understand how hard I'm working. I work every day, all day, to make this thing grow out. And the 10 months that I've been doing it, I feel very encouraged that it's going to become what I want it to become. But at the same time, it's not there yet. So some of the community features that YouTube allows us to use, I'm not eligible for, because I don't have 1,000 subscribers. But once I get there, this is going to go to another level. And in the meantime, I'm going to make it be on another level as much as I can, just by opening up the communication channels as much as possible. All right, I think I done rambled on enough. I just want to say thank y'all for coming. I appreciate y'all. And as always, love and peace. All right, have a good day, everybody. Take care.